You're asking really whether it was unprecedented that the bank, HSBC, would pressure WND's internet provider to take down the story, essentially removing WND from the internet because we dared to report on their money laundering bank fraud. Yes, it's unprecedented. I think it's one of the aspects of the Obama administration that I began to be aware of from the very beginning, and that is there's political pressure being placed on stories to be reported and not to be reported. And the more we dug into the HSBC story, you've got to remember, I personally took this information to the Department of Homeland Security. We took it to an office in New York. There was a whole floor of, law enforcement agents doing anti-bank money laundering, trying to get track down criminal activity in banks. We brought all this information in, and they weren't really terribly interested. It was not as if, well, we're going to really investigate this. It was, we're kind of sorry you guys have this because now we're going to have to figure out how we're going to sweep this under the rug. And John Cruz had taken it to the Suffolk County District Attorney. I'd heard John taped the conversation. I heard the conversation, and the district attorney knew this information was there and basically said, oh, it's not in our jurisdiction, we're not going to worry about it. And this went on and on and on, even with the Senate Permanent Investigating Committee, which I was also in contact with. See, what John Cruz had was he had account information that showed there were senior bank managers and bank employees at all levels and nationwide for HSBC involved in creating fake accounts, bogus accounts, and using the federal wire system to move money around. So they steal your social security number and your name, you don't even know about it, and suddenly millions of dollars under your name are being laundered, coming in, coming out of these accounts. We had the data. We could prove it. Absolute criminal activity. I mean, both from my experience working with banks and in the securities industry, where you go through all kinds of anti-money laundering courses. It's part of your continuing education. You have to pass exams on it to keep your licenses. It was obvious to me that I had a responsibility to turn this into the federal authorities. Being a duly licensed securities agent, I couldn't let it stand by. And here I am, we're talking to DHS, trying to get this to DOJ, Department of Justice, we're getting it to district attorneys in New York, and no law enforcement agent is doing anything to begin prosecuting the individuals involved.